Hello, I'm Chris Williams, and today we are reviewing The Wildstorm. Pretty much an imprint of the Wildstorm, the Image Wildstorm comic books from DC Comics. Ever since DC Comics bought Wildstorm, they've owned the Wildstorm characters. And I gotta tell you, this comic is quite a departure from what I'm used to with these characters. We'll start with the characters on the cover. The cover is boring. These guys are supposed to be the Authority, and I know a great many of them, but they've been altered to the point where they're almost unrecognizable. In fact, Jenny Sparks is the woman in front, a black woman. Midnighter, they've turned into an African American man, and they've pretty much shrunk Apollo down from a 7-foot tall behemoth into a basically almost regular looking cock. Now we start out with Jenny Sparks. Jenny, who apparently has a different haircut in every panel because her hair is shorter than it was on the cover. Here you can barely tell that she's a woman. She has no curves, and she insists on wearing an ugly gray suit. She is apparently getting off work. Yeah, it's great to open up the comics so well. And the artwork here by John Davis Hunt is boring. Ugh, look at the artwork here. Is that supposed to be a woman? Why does Jenny Sparks have a goatee? It looks like it. I mean, sure, it's pretty much artwork from behind her that was drawn badly. But it looks like she has a goatee. And the long-haired guy with the red hair over in front looks about as androgynous as Jenny Sparks. Ugh. All three of them could be considered cucks. It's such bad artwork. Later on, Jenny Sparks is walking down an alley when she's about to be assassinated by this guy with a scar on his face. He's just a nameless thug, so we don't really care. He says, "Sorry, Jackie," but this pisses off Jenny Sparks, and she powers up, and she gets ready to kill him. Here we see the guy aiming his gun. He doesn't know what is going on, apparently, because no one told him about that Jenny Sparks has electrical powers. And he's completely killed. This is the best art we have in this entire comic, I think. You see this guy disintegrating while Jenny Sparks just fires out of it. But as I said, Jenny Sparks looks different from the cover. She's supposed to have longer hair? Then why is she so flat-chested and looks more like a man? She's supposed to be a female. She's like an avatar of the mother goddess, apparently, in the Wildstorm universe. And she completely disintegrates the guy, blowing him literally out of his shoes because she gets a message from the Authority telling her that something bad is going to happen. I'm not sure if these guys call themselves the Authority yet, because apparently these guys are all reboots of the original characters from the Authority. And we see Jenny Sparks run away back to her team. Apparently they got a message saying that there's going to be something horrible happening in this town in Arizona. A meteor is going to end up hitting it. Basically, it was caused by the Midnighter and Apollo, and the Authority has to move out and stop them. The artwork here by John Davis Hunt is boring. This is not good artwork. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is just done with 3D models. And we switch back over to the Authority. I'm just going to call them that now. Let's see. The guy in the gray suit and the brown hair is basically the new incarnation of John Hawksmoor. Basically the guy who can make a city turn into a humanoid monster and kill his enemies. And he looks like such a cuck. What have they done to you, John? You used to have muscles, and they turn you into this. Here we see Midnighter and Apollo. And they are boring. Yes, they're gay, but now they're especially gay because you've taken everything about them and turned them into cucks. Apollo is barely a shadow of his former self. He's just littler now and has less muscle and wears a white coat instead of his white uniform. Oh, and we see the Authority led by Ginny Sparks with the punker girl and the woman who has mechanical powers, and John, not Hawksmoor, beside her. And the Authority is so boring and stupid. Oh yeah, I guess the punker girl's the new doctor. The one person from the Authority with magical powers. You know, I guess it's all right for them to call a character like that the Doctor, because like Doctor Strange or something like that, because a lot of wizards and stuff like that, and because Doctor Who doesn't own the name the Doctor. Here we see Ginny Sparks trying to reason with Apollo and Midnighter, and Midnighter says, "Don't come any closer." Oh, look how thin Midnighter is! Now, Midnighter's helmet, it's a ripoff of two things. The rebooted version of Nighthawk from Marvel Comics, as well as the Black Racer from DC Comics. He looks like a knight. And that's not good because the two knight characters I know of are black men who go around killing people, or at least in the Black Racer's job, he's the Grim Reaper. So it just comes off as boring. It just seems like something I've seen before. And then Stormwatch appears, or at least ships belonging to Stormwatch, and they all look like 3D models. And it's boring that some of the ships are UFOs that you just see in a sci-fi story. It's just so bad. And apparently we have a new version of the Watchman. He's a character from the original Image Wildstorm comics. He eventually turned into a villain, and I guess they're just starting him off as a villain as well. Here he's with another character. I'm not quite sure who her name is, but I'm pretty sure that might be a character we've seen before. And he's asking who they are down there, and she tells them that it's Apollo and Midnighter, and a couple of people they are not sure who they are. He tells her to kill them and to scrub the area clean and take the target location by force. Well, as you can see, they're wasting no time as establishing him as a villain. And it comes across as just boring. In the original series, he was at least thought of as a good guy at first. Here we have one of the Authority characters, the new and improved Engineer, or by the other moniker she goes by, the Maker. Now here she's basically just maybe a fusion of the original Engineer, or at least the second version of the Engineer, and their Hawk Girl XP the Swift. Well, the female character with the wings. It's just that she looks like a hawk woman with sort of mechanical wings on the back. Here we can see Apollo burning ships out of the sky as the battle is joined with the Authority fighting Stormwatch. And the issue is kind of boring. The writer here isn't doing that great a job. Warren Ellis could have done a much better work with this comic book, because he's really underselling what he can do. Here we have Ginny Sparks. She's grown into a giant lightning woman, and she's bringing down Stormwatch's ships. And the artwork here is maybe the second best in the issue. It's just like in a lot of modern comics, they don't have their artwork seems to go from good to bad throughout the issue. It's not stable throughout every one issue lately. Some comics do it, but a lot of the comics don't. So I would say this comic is rather bad. Not much happens in the story, and the characters aren't really acting all that heroic. They're acting like ordinary people who are basically doing their day jobs. I would say don't buy it if you like these characters, because it's just a shame what they've done to them. All right, if you like this review, leave a like by hitting that bell. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, and leave some comments down below. I'll be back again tomorrow with another review. And remember, If you keep checking back to watch my videos, you'll get to learn more and more about my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. So keep checking back to learn more. See you all again soon.